Season 3 finale. What drives you? Hey everyone, welcome to Murphy's Notes. You've probably not been counting with me, but I'll tell you for free. This is the 50th episode of our podcast. Roughly 1 year ago on December 24, 2023, we posted the premiere episode of this podcast, and every Sunday since then, we've been together on this space. So far, we've run 3 seasons of this podcast, and today, we've come to the end of season 3. So I want to take this time to do 2 things. First, to appreciate everyone who has been around since the inception of this community. Some of you have listened to every single episode, shared with friends, and left valuable feedback that reassures us every day that this isn't an exercise in futility. The support means the world, and I just want to say that we won't have a thriving and growing community without you. Thank you. The second thing I want to do today is to tell you a bit of the backstory of this podcast. Perhaps you could draw some inspiration from there. I'll drive the point home by using an interesting analogy from a TED Talk I watched earlier in the year. This TED Talk was delivered by the popular Nigerian comedian Layi Wasabi. He shared a unique perspective to the law of inertia that states that every object will remain in a state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line, unless compelled by an external force. In simple terms, the law says that external forces are responsible for setting objects in motion and for stopping them. Layi opined that a man who is moved from within cannot be stopped from outside except he stops himself from within. And that's the type of man or woman that can defy natural laws. Well, according to Miles Monroe, natural laws can be broken, but rules can be broken. And successful people are rule breakers, which is why success requires the kind of internal drive that defies external forces. The kind that breaks the rules and charts new pathways. Why did I choose to share this? It's because this story resonates with the story of this podcast over the last 1 year. Most people may not know, but the last 1 year has been one of the most challenging years of my life. I've had some high moments and some really low moments too. I've laughed hard and cried uncontrollably too. I've had experiences that I may not be able to share on this space, at least not yet. But one thing was constant. I showed up every single week for 50 weeks. I recorded even on weeks that I didn't feel like. And believe me when I say that the weeks I did not feel like it were way more than the ones I felt like it. There were times when I silently asked myself if it's all worth the effort or if I wasn't making any difference. There were times when I wondered if I should stop or keep going. There were times when I was just too busy. But one reason that I was able to stay on course till now is the fact that the things that drove me to start are internal. And so I did not pay much attention to the external forces. I'll tell you a little secret. At the risk of sounding proud, I'm good at many things. But one thing that I'd say is not my strong point is consistency. And I think this holds true for most individuals. We start something and we are so excited at first. But when the initial euphoria wears off, we find it difficult to stay on track. One major reason I chose to start a podcast is because I wanted to teach myself consistency. Believe me when I say that doing this 50 times was me surprising myself. I only missed 2 weekends, and those 2 weekends I was on the road and could not help it. This, for me, is a major win, and I hope to transfer these traits to other aspects of my life. Another internal motivation for me was stated in the premiere of this podcast. I said that if at least one person can make better life decisions based on the things I say, I would be fulfilled. None of our episodes have had less than 1 listener, so that's a win. The third motivation is one that I'll reveal soon, but it might be a little too early to talk about it. Just watch this space and you'll hear it in due time. Has our growth been massive over the last 1 year? I wouldn't say so, but I think we've done pretty well so far. One thing I can say is that we've gained more traction in the last few weeks because of the consistency. We have listeners from 12 countries across the world, and our community is growing by the day. It's a gradual process, But it's important to remember that nothing that is built to last is built in a day. Let me say it again because I think someone needs this message. Nothing that is built to last is built in a day. So just in case you are working on something major and the growth seems very gradual, just ensure you are putting in the work and you are arming yourself with the right information and resources. Then just be a little patient and the mountains will move. The last thing I'll say is that if you want to move mountains tomorrow, start by lifting stones today. We are on note 50 today, which I consider a mountain because I decided to take it 1 week at a time, 1 episode per week. There was no way I could have done 50 episodes in a day, certainly not with my busy schedule. If you have a goal, break it down into more attainable small steps and then take those steps consistently day after day, and soon you will get there. We'll wrap up here for now and we will take a short break for a few weeks to recalibrate and re-strategize for next year. Nonetheless, because my birthday is this weekend, I'll be recording a special video episode with a friend where I'll share more insights into this podcast, answer some frequently asked questions, and hold some really engaging conversations. This special episode will be posted during the break, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Hit the subscribe button to stay updated, and please leave us a 5-star review on all platforms: Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Follow us on Instagram at Murphy's Note and share our podcast with your friends and loved ones. That's the only way our community can grow and impact more lives. If you've listened up until this point and you've listened to at least half of the 50 episodes, please leave a comment below and I'll give you a shout out in our next episode. And because today's our golden episode, I challenge you to go for gold, and go for gold with the whole of your heart, driven by internal forces and not giving too much attention to the external ones unless they will stop you. And just maybe you can defy natural laws by going upward and forward only. Enjoy the festive season and stay out of trouble. Watch this space for new updates, and I hope to see you in season 4. Until then, keep being amazing. My name is Murphy Nnamdi Ochuba.